Here, and this is the Late Night Lessons 6th anniversary Van Halen birthday jam party, and the title I gave this video definitely rolls off the tongue, doesn't it? But this is the 6th anniversary of my channel here, and you know, I've started this channel January 26th of 2019, and over the last 6 years, definitely it seems like it just kind of flew by. It doesn't actually seem like 6 years, but it has been that long. And I've acquired, you know, multiple instruments in that time. I've upgraded some equipment, recently bought the Kemper Profiler player, upgraded my camera numerous times. What, this is like the 4th camera I think I've had since I've started this. But before I say or do anything else, I want to thank all the viewers out there, supporters over on Patreon, and just the continued, you know, interest and support, comments, requests. There's excitement in the air, a lot of inspiration floating around out there, it sounds like. And that's exactly what I wanted to do with this channel. So instead of showcasing gear or trying to sell you something, I'm literally trying to help you, you know, maybe break new ground, discover new guitarists and new bands, different albums, different songs, different techniques, and just really explore the guitar in an educational way instead of a demonstrative kind of a promotional way, which it seems like a lot of channels, you know, definitely promo a lot of gear, but I'm promoting a lot of music. So anyway, I want to thank everybody for, you know, supporting me and cheering me along these last 6 years. And today's also Eddie Van Halen's birthday, so I want to make sure I wish Eddie Van Halen a happy birthday. And I did make this clip a few years ago, and I was going to recreate this, but then when I watched it again, I thought, you know what, I kind of nailed this. But happy birthday, Eddie Van Halen. Now, I do have some more Van Halen related things I'm going to share later in this episode, but I also want to talk about the channel just a little bit and the different series that I've created, you know, here on my channel. And it's really important to notice this program guide that I'm going to share right here. I've shared this multiple times. I've posted it on Facebook. I think I've posted it on YouTube too. But this is kind of breaking down and explaining the different series that you'll find on my channel: chord play, 3-for-all, soloing secrets, breaking chords, and some of that. So here's the Late Night Lessons channel guide, and pay attention, read this. Also for new viewers out there, and also for some of the older viewers too, don't forget about the search feature, the search bar here on YouTube, and just click on my channel, you know, go over to videos, and then you'll see that little search bar up there, and just put in, you know, whatever you're looking for. Warren D. Martini, pentatonics, tapping, bending, Clapton, Gwar, I mean, whatever you're looking for, type it in that search bar, and if I've made a video related to it, it's going to pop up. Because don't forget, I put lots of hashtags and you know, other things in the videos. So if you're searching for something very specific, Dorian licks or whatever, type it in that search bar and it'll pop up, I promise you. Also, I get a lot of messages and comments from new viewers, you know, asking about transcriptions or tab for these lessons. And you can find PDF and guitar profiles over on my Patreon page. It's only $5 a month to join. You can cancel anytime. And over on Patreon, you'll find over 400 PDF and guitar profiles that go along with the lessons here on my channel. You'll also find my instructional method, Fretboard Fitness, which is filled with exercises and workouts. But all of that can be found on Patreon. Now, as far as the extra Van Halen goodies I'm going to add to this episode, I'm basically going to share some albums that directly influenced Eddie and Alex Van Halen. And it's interesting that all three of these albums I'm going to share here were all released in 1973. I have a feeling that was a really important year for the Van Halen brothers, you know, growing as musicians, and hearing this music really inspired them. And you can hear it in the early Van Halen. The first one is Billy Cobham's Spectrum from 1973. Tommy Bolin on guitar. Definitely a classic album. I've talked about Spectrum before in other episodes. We've talked about Tommy Bolin, you know, here on the channel a lot. But the song Quadrant 4 does sound kind of like Hot for Teacher. It's got that kind of boogie swing kind of feel. The weird Jan Hammer keyboard almost sounds kind of like some of the stuff Eddie did on guitar on that song. So that's really interesting to notice, like those sounds and the influences and that vibe that you can hear on the Billy Cobham track, but you hear it kind of transferred over into Hot for Teacher from Van Halen. That's really cool. The next album I'm going to recommend I actually don't own, and that's Tempest from 1973, featuring a young Alan Halsworth. And I've noticed on, you know, like social media, like on Facebook, also on YouTube too, people scratching their heads and trying to wrap their ears and their head around Alan Halsworth. And I'm guessing they're diving into some of the later stuff. You need to go back to the early stuff, the same stuff that Eddie was listening to when he was a teenager, and listen to Tempest from 73. There's a song on there called Strange Her, and that song literally sounds like early Van Halen. It's got that swinging kind of groove. It's got the vibe. During the guitar solo, you literally hear Alan Halsworth play several Van Halen licks. But you have to remember, you know, the first Van Halen album came out in 78, and this Tempest album came out in 73. So I have a hunch that Tempest album was a huge influence on Eddie, and that probably sparked Eddie's fascination and influence from Alan Halsworth. So check this one out. All right, the last album I'm going to recommend here, as far as the Van Halen influence, is the album Stray Dog from 1973. This features the guitarist Snuffy Walden on guitar. Snuffy's a legend behind the scenes, did a bunch of soundtracks and, you know, for movies and TV shows, 30-something, and a whole bunch of stuff. But this album from 73 by Stray Dog, it's amazing. I recently discovered this and it just blew me away. I was like, oh my gosh, what is this? The tone, the feel, the vibe. And Snuffy definitely has this kind of Van Halen vibe, but keep in mind, once again, this is from 73. Van Halen didn't debut until 78. So I, once again, have this hunch that Eddie and Alex probably listened to this album a lot. And certain songs definitely sound like early Van Halen. And for this one, definitely check out the song Speak of the Devil, which Van Halen used to cover that back in their club days. But Speak of the Devil literally sounds like early, you know, Van Halen from 78 and 79. You know, brilliant stuff. And it's so cool to hear that influence. All right, that's going to wrap this episode with the Late Night Lessons 6th anniversary Van Halen birthday jam party. And really, I'm putting this together just to thank all the viewers and supporters and the people, you know, that have been commenting and cheering me along for the last 6 years with your requests, your messages, your questions, you know, about certain things. And I guess all I can say is it's just me here, right? I'm only human. I have had, you know, some videos where I made mistakes. Maybe I said the wrong thing or played the wrong thing. But I really do take a lot of time and energy and focus trying to make these videos as good as I possibly can. I realize I don't have state-of-the-art equipment here in my studio. People commonly, you know, complain about my microphone or my camera or my amp or my face or whatever they complain about. But I'm only human. It's just me. You know, I make mistakes every single time I pick up the guitar. I make mistakes every single time I wake up in the morning. But I try to really deliver on these videos. And I can definitely say I'm proud of every single video on my channel. We're rapidly approaching 900 videos now. But I can say, even if it's an artist or a guitarist or a topic that you're not familiar with, I still invite you to watch these videos. Even if it's a band that you don't really like, or a player that you don't really like, or a technique that you think, I'm never going to use this. Watch it and try it anyway, because you never know where your next inspiration is going to come from, the next song that you tackle or learn that might open a door for you, or, it literally could be anything, a technique, something from music theory, a compositional idea, or whatever, a different way of tapping, or whatever it is. But that's what I'm attempting to do here, is just share information, inspiration, and ideas. And that's really what Late Night Lessons is all about. So it's been 6 years, so hopefully there's going to be 6 more years of just pumping out videos and information and education here on Late Night Lessons. So I want to thank everybody. Please subscribe to Late Night Lessons, and I'll be back before you know with more content and material. Thank you.